Hello everyone, my name is Manuel Robles. I'm a Genesis Works young professional, but unlike all the young professionals in this room, I'm not a member of the class of 2016. I'm a Genesis Work alum, and I've returned tonight to share my story with you. 5 years ago, in 2010, I was a junior at Hubbard High School on Chicago's southwest side. Genesis Works was a brand new program to Chicago. I had never heard of it and didn't know anyone that had participated. All I knew about the program was when a man named Eric Patton came to my classroom and spoke to my classmate. Eric was Genesis Works executive director at the time, and he told me if I joined the program, I would spend my summer learning about IT and how to succeed in a professional environment. Eric said that if I did this and I did it well, I qualified for a paid internship. All of you probably heard something like this. I bet that you thought this sounded pretty cool, but I did not. At least, not at first. I was skeptical. The training didn't sound like my idea of summer fun. Plus, I had a hard time believing that this brand new program would actually deliver on its promise of placing a high school student like me in one of those skyscrapers in the loop. This sounded unlikely, and the more I thought about it was pretty terrifying too. You see, I used to be incredibly shy. I struggled with my shyness throughout my childhood, and even in high school, it was hard for me to speak in front of others. I didn't know much about what Genesis Works called the professional world. But what I did know is that to do well, I would need to, at the very least, be confident enough to speak up. Now, there's a second reason, and that's because I had a hard time picturing myself in a professional internship. I didn't have anything to help me paint that picture. My parents are immigrants from Mexico. They both work in factories. No one in my family had ever attended college or held an office job. I almost let this fear of the unknown hold me back, but I thought about how much I loved computers. Technology has always been an interest of mine. I spent my free time learning about computers, and my neighbors even knew me as a guy to call when their machines stopped working. Sometimes I even got paid for it. I thought it would be pretty cool to turn this hobby into a career, but I didn't know how to do that. Maybe, I thought, Genesis Works could show me how. Well, if you haven't figured it out, I decided to sign up. I spent my summer in training, and I learned all the things you learned this summer. I was forced to confront my shyness head on, give presentation after presentation after presentation. I practiced over and over for each one. I noticed myself get better, and when I received feedback that I was an effective speaker, I was blown away. What was once a weakness was becoming a strength. After completing summer training, Genesis Works did deliver on its promise of placing me at a job at the central office of Chicago Public Schools. I started doing small tasks like taking IT inventory. I'll be honest, I found this pretty boring. Okay, extremely boring. Some of you may be feeling this way at your internship right now. But let me tell you this. What's awesome about Genesis Works is that it's not your typical internship. I went to CPS every day for an entire year from 1 to 5 p.m. I had time to prove myself. And so that's exactly what I did. And that's what I encourage you to do too. I proved to my supervisors that I can inventory the hell out of the equipment, and then I was given more responsibility, and then more. By the end of that year, I was overseeing the redeployment of all the computer labs at Chicago Public Schools. Genesis Works calls its students young professionals. And by the end of that internship, I really felt like one. I was surrounded by people who had college degrees and had jobs that came with benefits. And I was working side by side with them. I could keep up. And I had a new network of kids my age in the Genesis Works program. They were working in places like Accenture and TransUnion. Those skyscrapers in the loop no longer seemed foreign, within reach. During this time, I began to re-envision my future, and Genesis Works helped me make this vision a reality. Before joining the program, if you would have asked if I planned to go to college, I would have answered yes, absolutely. But if you asked how I planned to get there or how to pay for it, I would have returned your question with a blank stare. I had no answers to these questions, and I didn't know anyone who did. But then, as a part of Genesis Works, I attended a weekly college access course. My program coordinators knew everything about getting into college and paying for it. I felt like I had my very own college consultant and cheerleader. That was more than 4 years ago. Today, I am proud to announce that I am a graduate of St. Xavier University with a bachelor's degree in computer science. Thank you. I am also the first in my family to have a college degree. Genesis Works has stayed a part of my life. Genesis Works has stayed a part of my life. And when my mom was laid off from her job 3 separate times while I was in college, my family could barely make ends meet. I came this close to dropping out of school. And if it wasn't for the support that I received from Genesis Works, I would have. When I needed a summer internship at Genesis Works helped me land a position at AT&T. By the time the summer was over, I had made valuable contacts that put me in touch with the IT department at Palos Community Hospital. That's where I worked throughout college. Today, I work in the Loop as an IT support analyst at Invenergy, which is North America's largest independent wind power generation company. Living in Chicago, we hear a lot about violence, low graduation rates, and limited opportunity for the underprivileged youth. It's easy to feel that any sort of meaningful change is impossible. Genesis Works believes that a large change begins first with an individual, a family, a neighborhood, a school, and ultimately a city. And when I think about how my life has changed because of this program, I have to say, I think they're onto something. My 2 younger brothers followed in my footsteps, signed up for Genesis Works too. Both are now in college. Not many families in my neighborhood can say that they have 3 college-educated children. We're proud to set that example. And at my high school, Genesis Works has gone from an unknown program to a popular one so that students are excited to sign up for. This is how you create meaningful change. I wanted to come here tonight to tell you this because I remember being in your shoes, wondering if this whole experience would pay off. I cannot promise that it will. But if it does pay off for you like it did for me, I definitely cannot promise that it will be easy. You have an unbelievable opportunity in front of you. And the fact that you are here tonight means that you've earned it. I can also guarantee you that between your colleagues at work, your peers in this room, and staff at Genesis Works, you have an incredible network of people that want you to succeed. Genesis Works is not a golden ticket. It doesn't make you invincible. You still have to work like crazy and ask for help when you need it. And you have to accept that your internship supervisor and your Genesis Works program coordinators know a lot more than you do. So you don't just ask for guidance, but when they offer it, you have to listen and follow it. I did all of these things, and it wasn't easy, but it worked and it's paid off. And if you do these things, I know it will pay off for you too. I hope that 5 years from now, all of you will be in the position to come back to Breaking Through and share with high school students and tell them where you graduated from, where you're currently working. Let me tell you, it's a pretty cool feeling. I hope I've been able to offer some helpful advice on what it takes to see this journey through. Congratulations on making it this far, and good luck.